Okay, Death of the Governor fight. This one is not that bad from reviewing. Actually, I say it's not that bad. Hopefully there's not something, it's just not buggy, but this one's actually pretty simple. I'd say it's about as simple as the Moongazing Maiden boss fight. So we should be relatively okay, but let's explain the mechanics. So 3 major mechanics on the top right, you see right here, it's a pie chart with 3 different sections, okay? And these 3 different sections represent 3 major mechanics that the boss will do. Think of these 3 major mechanics as like almost mini games that you kind of have to do. If you beat the mini game, you destroy the mechanic. The boss can't do that mechanic no more. So you just got to beat these 3, and then afterwards you should be relatively okay. So the first major mechanic is pretty simple. Oh, actually, sorry. Before that, very simple thing. If you get targeted with a giant, massive yellow AoE, like so, like this, just like in Moongazing Maiden, avoid. Avoid, avoid, avoid. So if you get targeted, stay the fuck away from the group. Just run away, go to an edge, and just don't even bother. Okay, so that's the first major mechanic. Otherwise, so the first game, this is the blue mechanic. It summons 3 scrolls, and these 3 scrolls have 3 green AoE areas, yeah, these kneeling zones, right behind it. And this is very important. If you stand in the zone for too long, that green zone, it's going to force your character to kneel, and you can't move, and you get kind of stunned for a bit, I think. So you'll see right here, yeah, it charges up, and then you're stunned for a couple seconds, and you literally can't do shit. And this is important, because at a certain point, the boss is gonna do a charge up attack, right? A charge up mechanic attack. Like right here, you see right here, it's gonna charge up. So everyone needs to stand behind these scrolls and start kneeling before that mechanic ends. Because once this charges up fully, anyone that's still not behind one of these 3 zones, you die. So this one's actually pretty simple, right? Stand in the zones, avoid, you're good. Healers, kind of important. Make sure for healers, stand before you stand into the green zone, like an ulti, like your circle heal or whatever beforehand, so that when we're in the zone we can still get healed, because standing in the zone does take damage you for a bit. Nothing crazy, but better to be on the safe side. So just good practice. Throw a healing circle here, stand in the zone, we're fine. And then once we do that, and assuming we avoid that, we should be good in terms of a major mechanic. Yes. Yeah, so you'll see right here, because we beat it, and everything like that, that mechanic is now sliced off. It won't do this mechanic anymore. Okay, so second major mechanic is it will summon blue feathers that will target a couple of people, and it will land. It tracks you and shoots, periodically these feathers, and they'll land. Important thing though, right, is that these feathers, after a certain period of time, once this full charge bar goes up, it will return to the boss. And so the major mechanic here is that we need to have these feathers on the return when they're being pulled back to the boss to hit these scrolls, and if enough of these feathers hit the scroll breaks and dies. These kneeling zones still apply, but the actual mechanic of, breaking the scrolls and stuff like that, we do need to do. So yeah, so just make sure that if you are targeted, sort of the safest way to do it from what I've seen is that just stand in the zone, and then we have healers heal those people who are targeted, and when you're just stuck. And then on the way out, the feathers will break the scroll, and then pretty good mechanic, right? So that's a pretty simple thing to do. And then finally, the third mechanic this is probably the most tricky mechanic. It summons 4 like staff rods, electrical staff rods, and they're color coordinated, so 2 green, 2 yellow. If 2 of the same color are near each other, it starts creating this fucking periodic damage BS that does actually a shit ton of damage. If you actually notice like how much damage it's doing a good amount of damage. This one I'm actually a little bit unclear, but basically you want to keep these two or you want to keep these same color coded staffs separate from one another in enough distance to where the raid isn't taking that much damage, if at all, for a period of time. There's a certain point where they actually need to come together, but I'll explain that in a sec. But yeah, the idea, just keep these apart, you'll be okay. And then what happens is that the boss will summon the Big Bird boss, or if you guys remember from the Bloodstained Sands hero realm, it summons another vulture, like a big bird, right there. Okay, hey, it's the return of the big bird. This fucker. So this big bird does a lot of damage. However, if it runs into a net, this like lightning wall that's created when two of the same rod colors are actually close together, it'll get stunned. Bop, bop. It gets caught like a bug in a fucking electrical net or whatever, and then we just kill the bird. Pretty simple. Kill the bird ASAP. Now, this placement is obviously really ugly by the AI, but we probably don't want to have all the rods and the nets like close together. But you know, just whoever the boss is targeting, I don't know what the prioritization is here. But basically, when you see the big bird spawn, just stay on the opposite side of a lightning wall. It'll get caught. We killed the mini bird, and then we go back onto the main boss. We'll be okay. And then that's the third major mechanic. And once we break all those mechanics, the boss gets significantly debuffed and weakened. So you'll see right here, and it gets stunned even. So it's stunned, it takes more damage, it becomes a baby blood, and then we just fucking beat the shit out of it, and then we kill it. For a period of time. I think after you break it, okay, yeah, that makes sense. So basically, after you do all three mechanics, it gets stunned for a good amount of time, and then once this timer runs out, all three mechanics are available again, and then we gotta rotate and do all three of these mechanics. But in essence, I think this is actually not that bad of a boss fight. So just remember these three major mechanics. If we do them all, we'll be good. All right. That's it for both boss fights. Again, this raid comes out Wednesday night, and so we will be doing a Wednesday night first clear raid for everyone who like signs up in the Discord and stuff like that. And then, assuming you know everyone shows up, if we have more than 10, we'll run it back. Yeah, but you already know we'll run it back for everyone. So, assuming it doesn't take that much time, I'm going to put the Wednesday raid at. I'm gonna do it for. I'll make it on the earlier side. I'll make it for like 7:30 p.m. or something like that. 7:30 p.m. just so that we're not. Or oh wait, no shit, I'm fucking dumb. Okay, whenever the update finishes, whenever the server time comes back up, I'm gonna set it for 15 minutes after servers are up. So crossing fingers. Hopefully it's not that long. It might be. If it is. Fuck me, but we'll see. Anyways, so yeah, just make sure to sign up when the schedule is out. Okay.